Hey guys, a special one for you today. Stoked to be able to do this. This comes from one of the comments. I had a gentleman just reach out and he had thought that the reissues were quite a bit bigger than the OGs. And so I reached out to my good buddy Phil, who we've been good friends since grade 6. We still talk and hang out all the time. And in 1987, we bought our first pro boards together. I bought a Dogtown Aaron Murray, the fingers board that you guys have seen probably in some of my videos, and Phil bought this 1987 Powell-Peralta Tony Hawk. So it's so sweet just to have this OG goodness in hand here. And so what I'm going to do today quickly is just run through some of the specs so you guys can get a feel. How close are these actually as far as size goes? And who is the bigger deck? So don't necessarily pay attention to the visual you're getting here because the lens could be skewing just the sizes. So we'll actually run through the specs, and I can tell you I've actually placed this board on this board just to see how close they are, and I'll give you a hint, they're pretty darn close. So let's just do a quick walkthrough of this one again. Bones Brigade Series 9. Beautiful, one of my favorite colorways for sure. And this one has the dragon on top. I just want to give you guys a quick look at the concave here again. Just remember this one is a little bit warped. And so here's side profile. And yeah, there you go. So here we go. That's the Series 9. I'm going to pitch this one and get to the goodness. And here we go. Concave, so identical. Such a good job at nailing this. Side profile on it. You're getting a little tease there for these T-bones. Such a wicked deck though. And so just a reminder, based on the Series 9 rider card, it says that in 1987 they went from the pig shape over to the bottlenose shape, and they went from the graphic that was done by Vernon Cortland Johnson in 1983. I think this is the copyright for this graphic. Yep. And in 87, they expanded the graphic to the full deck with these other little things here that we're very familiar with, right? And so, yeah, so they went from the pig to the bottlenose and then expanded the graphics to the full deck. And so let's just point out some of the goodness on this deck as we're walking through this. We got the T-bones. These are like the monster truck of wheels back in the day. I think they were 67 mils, quite a bit bigger than my crossbones that I had. And these were 97As, so pretty hard for just cruising around on the street. But obviously awesome wheels, very sought after wheels today, especially if they're in mint shape. They can go for quite a bit of money. As far as the trucks on this guy, again, OGs. And the trucks are the Gullwing Phoenix. I think, let me just verify. Yes, they are. So the Gullwing Phoenix is what we have on there for trucks, and they have obviously kind of that built-in half-inch riser on them. They're just built into the truck. The rails, I'm not sure what he has on here for rails, but just to point out that they are the 4-hole versus the modern rib bones are 5-hole. A lot of the rails that come out now are the 5 holes instead. But back on the OGs, it was just the 4-hole, which is, yeah, cool and keeps it OG. Let me just give you guys a good look at this. So 7-ply, this is not the Bonite, it is the 7-ply. With the soy sticker, some rector pads, the Gullwing sticker on top. This little thing here is essentially just how he's hanging it. So he just removed the 2 truck nuts here and bolts, and then just put that thing through to hang it on as well. But outside of that, some OG goodness. I'm not even sure what he had in there for bearings. But you guys pay attention to this too. Sorry. These graphics, this board has been skated. Obviously you can see it's been put through the ringer here. I had it for a while and then gave it back to Phil, and he let his kids enjoy it. They enjoyed it. It was left out in the ditch and stuff. You can see that the graphics worn off, but look at the graphics on these wheels. They're still on there. For whatever reason, whatever they were using back in the day, the graphics just held on exponentially longer now. I have some GHS bombers on my Dogtown now just for cruising the sidewalks and stuff. And within a couple rolls, they're coming off. So the graphics definitely don't hold up the same way they did back in the day. All right, so let's run into the specs here. I'm going to grab my other board and pop it up again, just so you guys can see them side by side. We'll run through the specs, we'll call her quit and get out of here, but again, just a shout out to my buddy Phil for letting us look at this OG goodness. So good. All right, let's get the Series 9 back up. Gonna run through. We'll do the original first, and then I'll do the reissue. So let's talk length. 30.5 inches for the OG, and it's 30 3/16 for the reissue. So the reissue is a little shorter than the OG. As far as width, it's 10.5 inches on the OG, and 10 3/8 on the reissue. So again, just a little bit less wide in width. As far as the nose, 4 3/8 on the OG, and on the reissue, it is 4 1/4. So again, just a little bit smaller on the reissue. As far as the tail, it's 6 1/4 on the OG, and the tail on this one is 6 inches. So again, just a little bit smaller. I do have the specs on the wheelbase for the, so again, we're just measuring in between the trucks here. And it came up as 15 inches. That's what it gives us in the spec sheet for the Bones Brigade Series. I measured this one, and it's the same thing. It's 15 inches. And so at the end of the day, guys, the OG is actually just a hair bigger than the reissues that are coming out. But I think they've done such an amazing job. Like, again, I've laid this board just on top of this lightly because I didn't want to damage this guy, but I've laid it on top lightly, and it pretty much aligns perfectly. It's so minute, the differences, and again, I just want to give a shout out to Powell for really bringing back that old school vision for us so that we could, relive our glory days back with this 1987 Powell-Peralta Tony Hawk deck. Anyways, there you have it, guys. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Cheers.